Oh, hello, hi, welcome to 30 minutes. That's all to Conquer Biology SPM 2020. Okay, so today teacher going to talk to you about hacks and tricks. All right, I am the teacher in Sari from SM Science Alamsha. All right, okay, so we're better known as ASIS and Alamsha Science School. Okay, so today I'm going to talk about hacks and tricks for paper 1, paper 2, and paper 3. Guys, when I was doing this, actually I realized actually 30 minutes is not enough. So looks like there is more to come, and I'll be doing this more often because what I gave to you is only a very little bit of what I can tell you, right? Because I only have 30 minutes. That is my promise to you. All my slots, all my um, videos in this series 30 minutes, that's all. 30 minutes, that's it, not more than that. So looks like these hacks and tricks will come quite often in after this, right? Okay, so before that, those who have not new to my channel or first time watching me, please subscribe. So your motivation and your good comments and likes actually motivates me to give more content on biology. All right, okay, so without wasting time, let's go dive straight into it. All right, okay. So we start with paper 1 first. Okay, so I'm going to give for each paper 1, paper 2, and paper 3, I'll give 3 tricks or hacks, okay, for each of them, okay, which are quite general, but I'm sure that it will really will help you, okay, in the long run. Okay, right, okay, for paper 1, one of the most essential thing is please, when you're doing the paper 1, which is objective, the answers are right there and so on. This is where the students always will take it for granted. That is exactly what is happening, because paper 1 and paper 3, in my opinion, is what's going to save you, guys. So make sure that paper 1 and paper 3, you really do it properly. There's no room for mistake, no room for careless mistake. Sometimes when you're doing some exercise, you may realize that when you're doing this, like, there are, oh my god, I have careless mistake, oh my god, I careless. When you add them up, sometimes they can cost you like 4 to 5 marks. That's a lot. Okay, so one of the way to eliminate this careless mistake, or to make sure that you chose the best answer, is by underlining the keywords in both the question and the answers. Okay, so as an example, I've taken this question to discuss with you, like a plant cell immersed in distilled water. So once you see there are the keywords are the most essential thing that determines the answer. Okay, so in this question, you see the stimulus is the statement, the first statement they gave is the plant cell is immersed in a distilled water. So by right, when you see the word distilled water, you underline the distilled water. You should be making some notes at the side there, saying that you're saying that distilled water is hypotonic to the cells. So water will be start entering in by osmosis into the cell. Okay, so look at the next question. They say, which of the following is true about the movement of water molecules in early stage? So they say movement of water, that is definitely osmosis. And they say early stage. When they say early stage, that means it's before equilibrium, before they reach the equilibrium. Because once they reach the equilibrium, the movement of water in and out will be equal, isn't it? Okay, so based on that, you start reading the answer one by one. The rate of water molecule exiting, so no. So since we already agreed that this is distilled water, so that means the water has to diffuse in, not exit. So this is definitely a wrong. Okay, then B, the rate of water molecules. Okay, the rate of water molecules um, entering, okay, that's the one tick, that is one tick for that point. Then is higher than entering the cell. So yeah, that is what definitely happens in the initial stages of osmosis, okay, when you're dealing with hypotonic. Okay, so the rate of water molecule entering, yes, so correct. And no water molecules are entering or exiting the cells, that is definitely wrong. Okay, so they said no water molecules are entering and exiting. That will never happen. Even if you reach the equilibrium, there still be water molecules entering and exiting at the same rate. Because you have to understand water molecules, they have kinetic energy. So even if they reach equilibrium, osmosis won't stop. Because of the kinetic energy, they will still escape here and there, but they will equalize themselves. No, no worries. Okay, so C is also wrong. So yeah, that is another thing. So once you have decided that B is going to be the best answer, keep on reading the C and D, even though you have prejudged that C and D is wrong. Do not, once you get the B as the correct answer, do not just straight away and C and D. You will never know. Maybe C and D are actually more accurate. That is what I'm going to discuss in the next question. Okay. So in bio, sometimes you may have all the correct answers. All four might be a correct answer. Sometimes it is that your task to find the best answer. Okay, all right. Okay, so no water molecules entering. This is wrong, and the rate of water molecule entering and exiting in is the same. So this only can be achieved once you have reached equilibrium. So obviously B is the best answer. So when you underline like this, of course it will make your paper a bit dirty, but who cares, isn't it? So start scribbling, do some notes there. Make sure you understand the question properly before deciding what is the answer. Okay. All right, the next. Okay, so this is the most accurate answer. So this is an example of where, all the answers, somewhere or other, they are actually correct. Okay, so somewhere or other, all of them are actually correct answers. So it is your duty to find the best answer. All right, in this question, diagram 10 shows an experiment of yeast respiration. So they've put a paraffin oil, a mixture of 1 gram of yeast and 20 ml of 20 ml of 10% of glucose solution. Okay, so that is the question. So the question says, which of the following mixtures can increase the rate of respiration of the yeast maximally? So they have given you some options, and if you look at those options, actually all the options are correct, because this question, they said that mixture of 1 gram of 20 ml and 10%. But here all the answers are above 10%, so definitely this will increase the respiration rate. But then the trick is in the question itself. That is why underlining the question is very, very important. You see, which of the following mixtures can increase the rate of respiration of yeast maximally? So the key word here, that is the deciding factor of the answer, is the word maximum. So that is why the best answer is D, because that has the highest percentage, that has the highest concentration. You see what I mean? So that is why sometimes all the answers, all your options might be correct, but it is your duty to determine the best. So the giveaway word or the keyword for you to deciding the destiny of the answer, the question, it is in the question itself. So find that. Okay. Okay. The next part. So this is the third trick that I always tell my students. When you're dealing with questions which has the answers are in the form of table. Okay, the answers are in the form of table. So do not go horizontally, because when you go horizontally, what will happen is actually you're going across elements which might confuse you. So one of the way to eliminate careless mistake, as you move down first, that means you settle element by element first. So this is what I mean by move down. If by each element, column by column, settle that, then you decide, then you charge ahead, which is horizontally. Okay. In this case, the question asked I need to go a bit nearer. I can't see. Classify the organism according to the types of nutrition. So obviously A is commensal, which is actually autotrophic. So you have to go down. Okay, P, what is it? You have to go chemo-autotroph. No, we have decided that is autotroph. Photo-autotroph. So C and D. So give it a tick there. Then you say, okay, Q. Q might be a parasite, might be a saprophyte. So they do not have any other way of nutrition except for these two. So you go horizontally, you go vertically like that. Go down vertically first. deal column by column instead of horizontally. Then you go to R, move on to R, then you see. Then after that, you see how many of them has all the ticks. You move horizontally. So this is how to make sure that you eliminate careless mistake, and so that you yourself do not be confused because of like switching elements from element to another element, which may confuse you and cause you to make mistakes. Okay, then that is the 3 hacks that I have for paper 1. Okay, moving on to paper 2. Actually, this one I tell you, there are so many, I do not know which one to talk first. So that is why I think definitely these hacks and tricks will be following a lot after this. Okay. So paper 1, the first thing is one of the things that I always tell my students is ban permanently the word effect, influence, good and bad in answers. You see, when we get the students' answers, so they have this habit of using these words as answers. One thing that you have to understand, if nobody has told you before, I am telling it to you now. These words are only can be used as questions. You cannot use them as answers. Okay? So effect, influence, bad and good, all these are actually, in Malay we call it hanya layak. Hanya layak menjadi soalan. They cannot become answers. You cannot answer a question with a question. It's like that. So, like for example, look at that. All these are common questions that you come across. What are the effects of consuming excessive fat to human health? Takkan you want to jawab, consuming excessive fat affects the human health. It doesn't bring any meaning to your answer. Like, how does excessive fat influences the human health? Takkan you want to go and say excessive fat influences human health. Dot. Like, you're repeating the question. So try to, when you avoid this type of words from your answers, honestly, your answer become more specific. Maybe you had this experience where you have written a lot, your answers are there. You think the answers are there. Maybe the teacher does not agree. You went and go and show your teacher, where is my why I have these words, why you are not giving me mark. Your teacher says, sorry, honey, you are not being specific. Maybe this is one of the reason. When you use the word effect, influence, good and bad, all this has no effect on the answer. All this has no weightage on the answer, no meaning to the answer. These are all only good to go as questions. Deforestation gives a good and bad effect to the humans. Discuss. Isn't it? So all these are questions, not answers. That's one thing that you need to understand. Okay, then paper 2. When they give you a picture and they ask you to describe what you can see. So please only describe what are the characteristics that you can see from the picture. Like, for example, look at this answer, the student's answer. They say, the enzymes denature at extremely high temperature. The enzymes are protein. Even though these are factually correct, but can you see these two nature of the enzyme in the picture? No. So when you can't see them in the picture, so that is when the answer goes wrong, because the question clearly says based on the diagram. That means no matter what, you have to refer to the diagram and find the answer within that limit. Okay, so that is the problem. Always answer according to the question. No matter what, guys, I will still stand by my policy that the question is the most important thing. Spend time reading the question, understand the question. Okay, so it's not always you think the answer are the most important. No, it's for me the questions are the most important. Only when you can determine the destiny of the answer, you understand the destiny, only then you can give the best of what they want. Right? Okay, moving on. Yeah, this is another habit of students where they always give more points than required. Like they only have like 2 lines or 3 lines, and they say that give 2 factors. Like for example, in this question, they say state 2 factors that can alter or change. Guys, enzyme did not come out in paper 2 last year. So that is why I like Susapaya go and find one example of enzyme. Okay, so yeah, state 2 factors. They have clearly said that it is 2 factors. They have clearly said it's 2 factors. That means that is all they want. Some students, what they do is they go and write more than that. They add on their own, how to say, they add on their own, sorry, the subscribe, I forgot to turn it off. Okay. They clearly gave more than what needed. But unfortunately, this is not an advantage to that particular student. You see, state 2 factors, the first and the second are wrong. It says the substrate concentration, enzyme concentration. Please, when did enzyme concentration, high enzyme concentration or low enzyme concentration or substrate concentration altered or denatured the enzyme? It never had, isn't it? But unfortunately, his third and the fourth answers are correct. But then that's the thing. Sorry, darling, you are you are at loss here because the first two will be taken into account because they ask for only the 2 factors. So only the first two will be taken into account. The third and the fourth will be conveniently ignored. You see? So that is why think carefully when they have already given you the limitation, the 2 factors or 3 factors or 2 similarity, 3 differences. Think carefully again and again before you say what is your answer. Right? Okay. The next one, paper 3. 9 marks in your hand. Oh my God. This is actually one of the greatest trick that I can tell you. In paper 3, usually the thing that the students are like so worried is actually about the essay part. The essay part of the third paper, the paper 3. Okay. But one thing, even if you do not know what is the experiment, do you know that there's 9 marks are in your hands? 9 marks in your hand. Out of 17 marks, 9 marks are in your hands. Just just from the statement itself, you don't even have to know what is the experiment. You don't even have to know what is the procedure. I'm not even touching the procedure. Just by the statement, you can determine 3 important things of that paper, of that what they wanted, the planning of the experiment that awards you 9 marks. So this is a must do. So do not miss this for the world. For those who think like you are in the verge of giving up on bio, please don't. Okay, please don't. So try to follow me. All the things are hacks and whatever the things that I'm giving you, try to follow that. I am sure at least I can help you, even if not to get an A plus, but I still can help you at least to pass. But you have to stay with me. Okay. So, like for example, in this question, based on information above, design an experiment to study the effect of carbon dioxide concentration on the rate of photosynthesis of Elodea species. Problem statement. The same thing. What is the effect? Just cut off the effect, put what is, and after that put a question mark. That's it. What's so hard? There are 3 marks just for that. Okay? So 3 marks. What is the effect of carbon dioxide concentration on the rate of photosynthesis of Velodia species? There are 3 marks. So hypothesis. So this needs a bit of theoretical background, but I think at this stage, I think most of you know that carbon dioxide actually increases the rate of photosynthesis. So that's it. So what you do, all the wordings are here. Just take it and put the increase, decrease. That's it. You get 3 marks. You didn't even have to think far about the experiment. Then the variables. Okay. So variables. The carbon dioxide concentration, it is here. That is the manipulated variable because that is what going to affect the rate of photosynthesis. Then the responding variable, the rate of photosynthesis, because it's already here. Take it and reuse it, recycle it. Paper 3, the beauty of paper 3 is sometimes you can just recycle the answers again and again and then again, and nobody will say you are wrong. So that is one thing beauty about paper 3. So that is why I always emphasize to the students, paper 1 and paper 3 is where you are going to score. So do not miss it for the world. Okay, so what you need to do is just make sure that you know few tricks and hacks and where to get the marks, right? Emphasize on where you can get the maximum amount of marks. Concentrate on that. Some students are so worried about this paper 3, especially the second one. Why? Is because of the procedure. I would say procedure is it's just 3 marks. Okay, so concentrate on more things that's going to give you a lot of marks rather than worrying about something that's, yeah, you have to put a lot of effort for 3 marks. If you can do, fine. If you can't, no, don't worry about it. Right? Okay, paper 3, another thing. How to make sure your material and apparatus are up to the standards. If you do it, make sure, if you do one thing, if you need the procedure, you do this, you do that, make sure the appropriate material and apparatus are there too. That is your responsibility, and check. Okay, so in this case, of course, I don't know, maybe what the procedure that I put here is for the same experiment, just the before one, like the Elodia, and you're going to find out about uh, the effect of carbon dioxide concentration. So look at that, choose 10 centimeters. So if you want to see 10 centimeter, how do you measure the 10 centimeter ruler? Go and see whether you have the ruler or not. Right, so this is how you check. Okay, so if you see clip the tip with a paper clip, oh, where is the paper clip? Do you have the paper clip? There you are. For 10, 40 ml, where is the measuring cylinder? Where you're going to get the 40 ml measuring cylinder? If 1% sodium bicarbonate, what is it? Where is it? Make sure each and every step that you have in the procedure, the material and apparatus has been stated accordingly. So this is one of the trick that I always tell the students. Okay, so don't forget that. So make sure whatever you do in the procedure, make sure the material and apparatus you put it in it. You don't have to worry about being wrong here, because in the paper 3 there is no such thing as wrong, cancel, right. I mean, in the structure we do, but in here, even if you put all, if you have a doubt which apparatus and material, just put it. We will just mark and take whichever the correct one, and we'll just ignore the ones which is not which is not applicable. So you don't worry about that, right? So just make sure all whatever you have done, the material and apparatus must be correspondingly must be there, right? Okay, so this is the last trick for paper 3. When you are dealing with graph, I say, so this is one thing that I think I have to explain to you guys. One thing that you have to understand is this, you are dealing with live processes. When you are dealing with live processes, when you are dealing with live stuffs, maybe what you read in the book, that is the ideal situation. But in bio, there is no such thing as idealism. Every organism, every life is different. So that is based on that concept. That is why your graph for bio is very, very, very super rare to get a straight line. It always has to be a curve. It's not like physics and chemistry where you can get a smooth curve because we are dealing with physical stuff. Okay, but bio is not like that, and there is no idealism in bio. So that is the reason why when you are connecting the points in the graph, you have to make sure that they are all connected. Do not extrapolate. All this actually, I don't want to say that now, but then, yeah, it's still, since we're already there, I might as well mention it. Do not extrapolate. Make sure you use freehand. If it's a curve, make sure it's super smooth. So these are some of the tricks that you need to follow. It's not like a best fitted graph in physics. No, it doesn't work like that. Right? Why? Because bio, there's no idealism in bio. Bio, you're dealing with life. And life, whatever you read in the book, that is the basic ones, but there is no idealism in here. Okay? Okay, so those are the short tricks and hacks that I could share with you today. So um, just be with me throughout this journey until 16th March. For SPM students who are taking bio, I will be making more videos to help you all out there. All right. So show your support, subscribe, like, and share to my YouTube channel, The Teacher in Saree. Okay. So yeah. So that's all for today, and I hope you learned. But don't worry, this 30 minutes. That's all for 30 minutes. That's all for 30 minutes. 30 minutes. That's all I need. Will be continuing. Will be continuing, and I'll be coming up with a lot of things to help you all out there. All right. Okay. So that's all for today. Bye.